Calibrating cybernetics.
Talk to him now.
AT, Andre.
Come on, Dre.
Yep. Trippin with Let's Go.
Woo!
Trippin with Theobold.
What's your name?
Theobold.
Yeah.
Driggity. Let's go. Trippin with Theobold. Trippin.
What are we doing?
Trippin with Theobold.
Come on, Dre.
We on? Cool. Hey, what up, everybody, and welcome to the 45th episode of Trippin with Theobold. Hey, what up, everybody, and welcome to the 45th episode of Trippin with Theobold. Hey, what up, everybody, and welcome to. Sorry about that, guys. I had a little technical difficulties. I have 3 streams open right now. Hey, what's going on, T? I see you out there. Thanks for joining. But yeah, as you guys can see, I got a lot going on right now. I'm a little sweaty right now, man. Just got out the shower and shit. Oh, I'm cussing too early. Yeah, I don't want YouTube to flag my video, but okay. Let me watch myself for another 2 minutes and I'll be fine. But yeah, come on in here, man. Pile up on in here. You know what I'm saying? Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, tell a friend to tell a friend. And as you guys can see down below are all my social medias, so make sure you follow me, add me, whatever. But yeah, man, today we gonna talk about Stranger Things 4. You know what I'm saying? We gonna talk about it. You know, I'm gonna do a review of it. It's gonna be spoiler alert. So for those that haven't seen it and are planning on watching it, what I'm gonna do is this. I am going to put up this nosebleed, and if you're a Stranger Things fan, you know what the nosebleed means. But when you see this nosebleed, that means I am talking about Stranger Things 4. And if you have not seen it, please do not listen and let me ruin it for you. Okay, so just FYI, you know. So let me go and take this off because I'm not going to talk about Stranger Things 4 for the whole episode. What we got going on right now? I'm all over the place right now, man. I am all over the place. I have three screens open, but I am going to figure it out eventually. It's a lot to juggle. Okay, here we go. Boom. Okay, now I think I'm official. All right, so today, as you guys know, I'm a Buffalo Bills fan. And if you want to, come on, Dre. If you want to learn more about my channel or know more what it's about, just watch my other videos from before. I'm not gonna do all the intro stuff. I'm actually working on a YouTube trailer, and when that's out, all my new listeners, you'll be able to see what this is about. But anywho, for all my regulars, we just gonna get into it, okay? So as you guys know, I'm a Bills fan, and I like to tie all of my episodes to a Buffalo Bill player, right? So who am I going? So today, this episode is tied to Dwight Drain, number 45 for the Buffalo Bills. He played for the Bills in the early Super Bowl era. And as you can see, that's a picture of him right there in Super Bowl 26 against the Redskins, now the Commanders. Dwight Drain, he was a great special teams player from what I can remember, but as a free safety or a safety, he was garbo. And if you're listening, if you're watching, man, I'm sorry, man, but young, Super Bowl 26, man, you let everybody score in the secondary, man. Like every time you looked up in Super Bowl 26, man, you saw Art Monk scoring a touchdown, or you saw Gary Clark scoring a touchdown, or who else? All the receivers in that Super Bowl, I think, scored a touchdown, you know? And it wasn't Dwight Drain's fault all the way. Well, if you're a professional, whether you're a backup or not, you know, that's your opportunity to shine. You know what I'm saying? That's your time to shine. I remember that Super Bowl. I think Leonard Smith, number 47, who's going to be 2 episodes from now, he I think he slipped on some ice the night before the Super Bowl and like sprained his MCL or broke something, and that's why he didn't play. And I think that's why Dwight Drain got the start in the game, and that's why we got cooked. So this episode 45, is tied to number 45, Dwight Drain, former Buffalo Bills safety from the early 90s. Okay, cool, we did that. Man, I'm up here perspiring, man. Yeah, I just got out the shower. That's probably wasn't a good idea. I just got out the shower. I'm trying to be clean and stuff. Before I go any further, let me go ahead and add my chats right quick so I can see who is tuning in and who's not. So I hate when YouTube does this. Every time I go into YouTube, T says I'm glowing. Yeah, I'm glistening, huh? So I can't stand when YouTube does this, man. I hate when they, I have to, Twitch, if I keep the link available and just pop it in my OBS, it pops right up every time. But with YouTube, I got to keep going in here and I have to keep recopying the link. Come on, YouTube, get your stuff together, man. Come on, it's a pain. This is a pain, right? Because my listeners want to hear what I got to say. They don't want to see me fumble around on stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah, they don't want to fumble around on stuff. Or they don't want to see me fumbling around on stuff. Here we go. Put this link in right quick. So now I can see my chat. And now we are popping. Okay, now I can see without having to scroll to the other pages, All right. So what else we got on deck, man? As you guys know, I am on my last week on my shred diet. I'm on week 6. Yay! I'm on week 6. Let me talk about my shred diet for a minute, man. So today I get a special dinner. This is how you know when you're a dieting nerd, man. So my dinner is a veggie burger and 12 skinny fries. I got to count them fries out. I got to count them bitches out, man. That's the one thing about this plan. You got to count out stuff. I got my little goldfish. 100 calorie snack is 40 goldfish. And I think 150 calorie snack can be 50 goldfish. And I got to count them out, So tonight's going to be a special dinner, But this is my last week of my diet, and I think I'm going to continue throughout the weekday loosely. I kind of know what habits I have to have and what I got to do. But the one thing I realized about this week that I didn't know before, man, was the juice is what was saving me in the plans, man. The juice is what was saving me, Man, the juice, every time I had a meal and I had a cup of juice, I was good. I felt fulfilled. But this week was no juice for the first half of the week. And I was struggling. I started having the shakes, and, when you don't have that juice to settle in you, man, it's you start looking at animal crackers. You start looking at all types of chips different. I had that craving, So, but this morning we started back with half a cup of juice with each meal. So I'm good with that. I think I'm down 10, 12 pounds. But like I said, I didn't do it for the weight loss. I did it for just making sure I'm eating on a regular schedule. I'm eating more variety of foods other than, Panda Express and Subway, So now I know what kind of foods I can eat. Excuse me for a second. So yeah, so I'm in my last week of shred. And like I said, I'm going to kind of do it loosely Monday through Friday, and then we'll see where I go from there, shout out to blackberries, man. Blackberries. I never knew blackberries could be so good. Blackberries and grapefruit are my number 1 and 2 fruit. If you guys are listening to this video in the comments in the chat, man, just put down your favorite fruit, man. I didn't realize that grapefruit was so good, man. But grapefruit and blackberries are my top 2 fruits right now, Not to sound fruity on y'all, but okay, whatever. Enough of that. What else we got, man? Let me go and take this down. Okay, so, like I said, I'm just plugging things right now. Shout out to Mark Lotus for the intro. I hope you guys heard the intro. I hope you guys liked it. I like the intro. It's dope to me. Shout out to Mark Lotus. Go to his YouTube page and check out all of his beats and all the work that he does. So I have 2 intros. I played the second intro today, and I have an outro that I have to this. So We getting there. We building. That's what we doing. It's all about building, you know. As they say, Rome wasn't built in a day, right? So tripping with Theobold ain't gonna be built in a day. It's always gonna be growing. All right. So what else we got, man? Shout out to I gotta plug this right quick. Shout out to my fellow, comedic compadre, Brian Mickens. Man, me and Brian, I, like every now and again I'll see Brian like over at various like comedy venues or whatever. And every time we see each other, man, we just start snapping on each other, man. Like we snap hard, man. Like you would think that we worst enemies, but that's, as you guys know, that's a form of endearment amongst comedians. We we roast each other or we bag on each other as a form of endearment, And I saw this dude in the Comedy Store one night. He was wearing an all white tracksuit, man, with a white hat, like a white hat like this. And he was up there looking like a Frankie Beverly and Maze extra. I was like, joy and pain, sunshine and rain. He's like, man, shut the hell up. Anywho, let me stop goofing off. But Brian Mickens, man, was a producer on this episode of 30 for 30 that you see right now, right? So it just came out. It's called The Greatest Mixtape Ever. I started it. It's dope, man. Like I said, man, you guys need to go and get up on it, because if you grew up in the 2000s and you remember the mixtape era, that was a big era. Like everyone was trying to do the and one moves, and so man, shout out to Brian. That's a dope credit to have. I'm happy for him, and I hope he continues to do great things. What else do we have? I might even do a review on this in an upcoming episode. So take note to that. I should do that. So don't hold me to it, but I think I will. What else am I going to plug? As you guys know, you see my background, Stranger Things. Watch it. Gobble it up, man. But we're not talking about that yet because that's the whole point of this episode. What else do I have here, man? Shout out to my man, Benji, a.k.a. As Is, man. I got my official OG Sunday shirt. I've been rocking with them. So they were established, or he started doing this in 2010. I started rocking with them like in 2016, That's family right there. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to him, always doing something creative. He's the one that actually was pushing for me to do like my podcast or to do something on Twitch. He's the one that kind of put me on to the whole OBS world and everything else. So if you guys want to go check him out, he's over on Twitch doing his thing. But super creative dude, man. I like to see what he does. I like how he thinks. And we always like collab on like little things every now and again, or we like run ideas by each other, So shout out to him. And I'm turning into an old bitch, man. Because I had to get this fanny pack, man. I saw it on Amazon for like $10. And I want to try this fanny pack out because it's lightweight. And I have a man bag, and the man bag I have is dope, but it's like kind of like clunky, I'm not saying I'm not going to use it again, but I want to try a fanny pack out. I want to try a fanny pack out, so I'm going to start rocking with these to see how this works out for me, and you know what I'm saying, we'll go from there. So that concludes the promotional part of the show. So I want to go ahead and get into the DFS stuff, the stuff why a lot of you guys are here. You guys want to hear my expert analysis, So right now it is 6:20 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and the NBA Finals have started, which I don't really care about. I'm still going to watch it for entertainment, but them motherfuckers already got their money. Like, they're making millions. I'm trying to get my first million. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I play DraftKings and I do DFS. Like, if there was no DFS, I probably wouldn't be watching anything sports related. But anywho, man, let me go ahead and talk about my last week in DraftKings so far. So in DraftKings, man, I had a bad week, man. No big wins. Like the week before, I told you guys I won $60 off of $1. I came in third place out of like 2,000 people. Ran the table. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't get that 150, but I'll take 60, you know. And I gave it all back. But anywho, like no big wins this week to talk about, no big wins to report on. But this is something that I want all new DFS players and DFS donks, right? I guess that's a slang word for people that lose money on the regular in DraftKings, right? You call them donkeys or donks. Don't lose time and money, right? If you're gonna lose money, just lose money, but don't lose time and money, you know, because you can really, like, I like to analyze all the statistics, all the data, and sometimes I can really go in deep, you know. And you guys know my favorite rule. My favorite rule is if you break out a spreadsheet to do any type of DFS, you already lost. I have never broken open a Excel spreadsheet and ran formulas and collected data and looked at the shit and came up with a win. Never. That never happened to me, man. So if you think about opening up a spreadsheet, stop. Don't do that shit. But basically, my goal basically for the NBA portion of the rest of the season is to, like I said, I'm going ham on the Captain Showdown modes, right? My goal was to play Captain Showdown mode through all the playoffs, and that's what I was doing. And I was hoping to kind of find a pattern and get hot, and then get to a point to where, you know, I'm playing with earned money, and I wanted to hopefully, you know, play in those bigger tournaments to get the millies. You know what I'm saying? But no millie for me. But now with it being the finals, I can throw a dub in and get in for a chance at $1 million. So I'm gonna probably do like $20 every game, and then hopefully I can, you know, at least break even on that. If not, oh well. Lost about 100, but you know, it's worth the risk if you're gonna get millions, you know. But that's just for the series, right? But what I'm gonna do for baseball is I'm going to focus on the cash games, you know. And I did that bullshit head-to-head shit, man. The head-to-head shit is terrible, man. It's like, that's a hustle. It's a type of cash. If you don't know what a head-to-head is basically a type of cash game where you play one-on-one against somebody or one-on-one against a stranger. And it could be a computer, who knows, right? So basically it's like a double up almost. Like if you got in the head-to-head for $20, you would roughly get back $40. I think the math goes, what is it? It's 10% of the pot goes to it goes to the people that actually run the shit. So, what's that? 40. What, 10% of 40 is $4, so 36. So I think you might win like $36 off of that if you go head to head. If you win, if you don't win anything. So I'm not doing that anymore. I'm just doing double ups. If you do a double up, basically you put in one. You have to finish like within the top half, I think, or the top third, and then you get like double your money. So I'm just doing $1 double ups. I'm just doing. Come on, Dre. I'm just doing $1 double ups for baseball for like the rest of the baseball season, because I want to keep doubling up. Do the $1 double ups, and when I get good at that, then go to the 5s, then do the 10s, the 20s, and you guys get the math, right? So I'm trying to. So essentially, what I'm doing is I'm trying to build up my bankroll for the NFL season, right? Because I'm not trying to put money in. I'm not trying to go back to my account. I'm trying to just put money in. I'm trying to basically play with earned money, you know. So, or I'm trying to play with my bankroll. You know what I'm saying? So that's the goal for the summertime. Because baseball, I'm just doing double ups. And I might do a tournament on the weekend just to kind of like test the waters out, but you know, it is what it is. And for my new listeners, or for people that aren't familiar with DFS, you got two types of games. You got GPP, right? And then you got basically it's cash games, which I think is GPP. I could have that wrong. But there's cash games and then there's tournaments, right? Cash games is a much smaller pot, higher. You have like a much greater chance of winning, but the amount you win is small. And a tournament is a huge like ensemble of people where it's like 2,000 or more people, and you play for a pot and you have to finish in like the top 20% to get any kind of earnings back, right? So that's just how it works, you know. Let me go ahead and talk more about this basketball stuff, man. So let me show you what the fuck happened to me, man. Let me show y'all this bullshit right here, man. This you guys are gonna laugh at this. Look at this bullshit. Look at this shit. Right? So I did so this is from last week. This is game 7 of that Heat Celtics game 7. I put in $20 and just missed the black. I mean, I was one. See, here's another rule, right? So when I play DraftKings and shit, what you got to do is, like I said, you don't want to waste time and money, right? If you're gonna lose, just lose money, right? But don't lose time, right? So I was tracking this game like stat for stat, play by play, and I was deep into the black. I was winning like probably like $50, $60 off this shit, you know? And I sat there and I was tracking this and tracking it and tracking it. And then the outcome was this, you know, 1-0. So I could have been doing something else with that time when I was tracking that one game, you know. When I say tracking, I don't mean I was just doing this all day, but or all game. It was like my mind was on it. Like I was thinking about it, you know. I was like, man, I wonder how I'm doing. Let me go check. From now on, when I play, I do my quick analysis, I make my picks, and I check it at midnight, you know? Kris Kringle, you know? Treat this shit like Kris Kringle. You know, you put your money in, you do your shit, and if you go mind your business and do what you got to do for the rest of the day, you might have some money in your sock. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I was pissed at this, man. But let me show you how I lost this joint. Yeah, you guys are gonna laugh at this. So here's the breakdown, right? So if you look here, man, I was hot. Like I'm on the far left, you know. I don't want to show you guys my handle because in case I hit it big, I don't want y'all knowing who I am. Okay, because I'm gonna hit this shit. I'm speaking this into existence. I'm gonna get hot and I'm gonna stay hot. All right. So if you guys see, Marcus Smart went off, but I had Jimmy Butler because you know Jimmy Butler is, if you know anything about him, if it's a game 7, he's playing and he's gonna go all out. Now, if this wasn't a must-win game, I probably wouldn't have played Butler, but I played both Butler and Smart. And if you notice, Butler wasn't even in the winning lineup. I had Kyle Lowry. Lowry was in the winning lineup. Marcus Strus was. So I got Strus, Lowry, and Smart right, but I had Smart in the wrong spot. And I'll take that Williams pick. Like that wasn't a bad pick, you know, for the price. Even though, I mean, Oladipo edged him out by less than a point, but I'll take that. You know what I'm saying? I'll take that every time. But Derek White, man, this motherfucker, man, he's my woe of the week, man. So let me show you why I picked Derek White. Okay, so I picked Derek White because, here's the data, right? So I picked Derek White because, if you look at the trend, right, he basically was, if you look at that May 19th, actually, now that I look at it, it was a dumb pick. Well, it's dumb because I lost, right? But that May 19th game got me, right? See, it was a 0-on-0 game, meaning that he wasn't even playing that game. So 0-on-0 games don't count to me, right? It's like you're not there. So you might as well go ahead and just take that whole column out and merge, starting with May 17th going to May 21st, right? But if you see that, he went from 10 to 8 to 39. So my hope was, my expectation was, well, I wanted him to like have to even go higher than 43, but I would have taken 40. But if you notice, he never increased over 3 games straight in the past like 10 games. What was that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10? Yeah, in the past like 11, 10 games, he never increased 3 times in a row. So I shouldn't have taken that. But I took it because I was thinking to myself, okay, if he put up 43, because how much was he worth? Yeah, he was 6,200. He was projected to score 25.19 points. But for him to hit value, I needed like 31, 32. And I could see him scoring 31, 32, and I would have taken that. But he put up 14, man. Like he shit the bed, man. Cost me some money, but whatever. But that's how it works, you know? And one thing I tried doing before too is I tried to trophy chase, right? And what I mean by trophy chase is if you look at May 23rd and May 25th, you see that there are 2 trophies there, right? So what I'll do is I'll go back and I'll look at all the series. I'll look at all of the, like this whole thing, like the Line Star app, I'll let you go back from like pretty much the last week of the regular season. And all I really care about is the playoffs. And I want to see if he ever had a situation where he got a trophy, didn't trophy the next game, and then trophy the following game. Because if he did that, that would have been a good pick. But since he didn't do that, I shouldn't have done that, you know? So, anywho, we live and learn, and that's that. One funny thing I saw with the Heat Celtics game that kind of cracked me up was when I was looking at my lineups in DraftKings was you had some motherfuckers playing Omer Yurtseven. I think I said his name right. Omer Yurtseven. And not only were they playing this dude, they had him at captain. I couldn't even get that out because I was appalled at that. They put Omer Yurtseven at captain. I think he was like $1,000. He didn't play in any series. I don't think he played in the he might not even played in. I think he may have played one game in the whole playoffs and maybe scored like 2 points or something like that. But some people picked Omer Yurtseven and they had him as the captain in their lineup, and they were winning like $50,000-$60,000 off of that. But they didn't win. I mean, I went back and I checked. I went back and I scrolled through and I saw like who had like I went through all the people that won a couple thousand or the tens of thousands or the couple thousands, and thank God nobody had Omer Yurtseven in there because I was like, man, that is a pretty slick method to use in DraftKings. Basically, if you think like 5 players are gonna have ceiling nights, then you can do that. But I wouldn't do that on a daily basis because one player is at least bound to shit the bed, you know. But anywho, that's it for NBA DraftKings. Let me see if anyone is checking in with me here on Twitch. No one on Twitch. Okay, cool. Let's talk about baseball right quick. So, like I told you before, baseball, I'm gonna kind of take a pause on the tournaments. I'll probably do a tournament like on the weekend, like little small $10, like not $10, but like $1 tournaments. You know what I'm saying? See if I can't, get that $60 again, like I got from before. Get that $60 bump that I got from last time. But every day I'm just gonna be doing double ups, right? I'm trying to just double up my money to build up my bankroll. That's what you want to do. You want to build up your bankroll so you're not dipping into your account, every week. You want to have a nice surplus of cash to where you can get cute, Anywho, what else, man? Yeah, so I saw this course on Udemy, right? I was just curious, all right? So if you don't know what Udemy is, basically it's like an online it's like a place where you can like go learn about all types of like various subjects. So if you're interested about, let's say, calculus, right? You can go to Udemy and put in calculus, and then they'll have teachers and courses on calculus, right? So, and they're pretty expensive, and they a lot of times like they'll cut the rates or like have deals on holidays. So I put in daily fantasy sports, and I just wanted to see what popped up, and I saw one for baseball. I said, let me watch this little bullshit Udemy video, right? So I paid like I think the normal price for it was like $60, and I paid like $12 because it was a holiday weekend, right? I said, let me go ahead and pay $12 for this course, see what it's about. Nigga. Let me take it back. That course wasn't bad because like you learned about like stats or whatever, but he didn't really say like how much he won. I think if you teach an online course with daily fantasy sports, you have to show your winnings. Because if you ain't winning shit, why do I want to listen to you? You know what I'm saying? Like, why do I want to listen to you? But anywho, I paid for this course, and the first thing he did was he was pulling out spreadsheets. I was like, man, he already lost. I already know. But basically, I'll get to that part later because he was talking about some like in-depth baseball stats that we had to play, and I played them like a fool and lost. But basically, he had two major points in his training course. Basically, he said the guy said basically he said for cash games you want to play the floor value or the projected floor value of the players, and the floor is the lowest projection for a given player, right? That's what they do, right? It's called ceiling and floor, right? So a ceiling is like the max that the projection says that a player is going to get, and then the floor is like the least, right? So he was saying for cash games, play the floor, and for tournament games, play the ceiling, right? And you can't do that, right? I kind of knew that, but I did that for one tournament, and I did that for one cash game and lost. And then I did my regular method for another one, and I won like $2 off of that. Anywho, let me show you what happened, right? So anyways, it came down to two players, right? Like in my double up, I picked JD Martinez over Xander Bogaerts, as I should have. You know, they're both players for the Boston Red Sox. Excuse me. And here's what. So Xander Bogaerts was, but if you picked him with the other 5 players, then you won in the double up. If you didn't, you lost, like me. All right. So, I basically used what did I do on this one? I think I looked at the floor. Actually, no, I played the ceiling for this one. This was this was the one I used the other stats for. So let me actually introduce that first, and then I'll show you how I lost. But basically, he was saying in his training, he was saying that in baseball, the two most important statistics you want to pay attention to are the ISO and the WOBA, right? So ISO stands for isolated power. Basically, it's the measure of raw power of a hitter by taking only extra base hits, right? So for example, if you hit a double, right, you basically have like a weighted average or like a weighted score for hitting a double, right? Whereas if you hit a single, it doesn't even count, right? All you want to know about is how far can a player get with like a hit, you know? And you can see the formulas right there. But this dude was breaking out spreadsheets, and he was saying, go to this website and get this data, and then put this formula in, and then get your numbers, and then go with the ISO. You want to have an ISO above, like, 290 or something like that, and and then the WOBA, you want to plug these. I was like, nah, I ain't doing all that, right? That's why I have Line Star, right? Line Star gives you all that information. It just spits it out for you, right? So now I'm not doing that. But I still played those stats and I lost, right? And then the WOBA is the weighted on base average. And basically, it's what did it say? It's the version of on base percentage that counts for how a player reaches base, right? So basically, it assigns a value to each method of reaching a base in terms of I can't read my its impact in scoring runs. So as you can see, they're trying to say, or he was trying to say, if you use these two statistics, like you always gonna win, right? Or if you make sure that the players you pick are like above, if they have a value within a certain range for the WOBA and for the ISO, you're always gonna win, or you're gonna increase your chances of winning. And I'm here to tell you right now, it doesn't take rocket science, man, but there's no one statistic that you can look at that is going to be uniform across all players to make you win or to allow you to win. I've tried it. I know for a fact, Because in baseball, there's so many different statistics in baseball. So many, you know? And it's like, if you sit there, because I actually tried this, right? Like I took my losing lineup and looked at the winning lineup, and I actually went back and looked at all the stats. I tried to say, okay, let me see if I can't let me see if I pick the player with the highest average, right? Or the highest batting average. You're not gonna, right? There's gonna be, it's almost like I wouldn't say it's random, but you can't look at one individual stat to determine like a lineup that's going to get you a winning lineup for all players. Like that, it's not how it works. You just have to trust your eyes, right? Trust your eyes, right? So let me go ahead and break down Xander Bogaerts for you right quick, right? So like I said before, in my double up, I went with JD Martinez, as I should have, over Xander Bogaerts. Well, if I looked at the data that he told me to, I should have went with JD Martinez. But if you just trust your eyes, you can see that, you know, I should have went with Xander Bogaerts. So let's pull up JD Martinez's profile, right? So here we go, right? So when you look at JD Martinez, he finished with 5 points on yesterday's game. He finished with 5 points yesterday. If you look at the most recent past 10 games, right? If you look at from May 24th through June 1st, what do you see? This is where you got to trust your eyes, right? So the one thing I don't see is I don't see where he increased in fantasy points 3 games in a row. Like May 25th, he got kind of close, right? He went from 12 to 17, but then he dropped down to 15. And that was it. So why would I think he's going to go and increase all of a sudden? Which he did increase, but why do I think he's going to increase to double figures, right? I mean, it's possible, but just just read the data. Just go by the numbers, right? So take him away, and now let's look at Xander Bogaerts, right? And what do you see with Xander Bogaerts, right? I kind of broke my rule that I said from before, but whatever. He went from, if you look back from May 24th through June 1st, you can see that after putting up 0, he put up double figures, right? Which he did last night. So I'm not saying that I would have projected or predicted that he would have scored 13 runs. I'm just saying if I know that he put up double figures in if I knew that if I would have seen that, or if you can see that after putting up 0 points, he put up double figures, right? And then JD Martinez never had 3 consecutive games in the past 10 games where he increased each game. I would have known that this is the better pick, right? Now, of course, if you look at overall stats, the stats would have shown that JD Martinez is the guy you got to pick. But this is why you trust your eyes right here, right? It was all right here. If I would have just looked at this, I would have had an extra $6 in my pocket to play with. But we live and learn. That's what this channel is about, man. It's right. We live and learn. We learn from our mistakes. We study, and we get better and we grow. Okay, so now that I bored you guys with the DFS analysis and the breakdown, I'm going back to my old-fashioned method of just, like I said, of just looking at the charts and eyeballing it, man, and trusting my eyes. You know, that's what it's about. You gotta learn how to trust your eyes, man. Because when you read numbers, you can get lost in numbers really fast. Now, if I had, and I'm going to do this eventually again, I'm going to actually get back into my neural networks and machine learning. But that's when I'll fool around with spreadsheets, and that's when I'll start to feed data to crunch in stuff, so I can actually have the algorithm do the work, right? But me doing the work by hand on a spreadsheet, nah, I'm not doing that. Nah. What is going on with my picture here? Okay, I'm not gonna worry about it. I think I'm good. Okay, cool. So that's it for the DFS portion of the show. In the comments down below, give your feedback, or not. So now let's go ahead and get on to the breakdown of the Stranger Things 4.1 or Stranger Things 4 Part 1 portion of the show. This is like the part where I'm going to be giving away spoilers. So from this point on, you guys know what this means, right? Right? Okay, cool. So when you see the nosebleed, that means that I'm bleeding away the information. So if you see the nosebleed right now, if you're just tuning in now, I'm about to talk about Stranger Things Season 4 Part 1. I will be talking about the spoilers. So if you haven't seen it, skip past this or tune back in when I'm not talking about it. And you'll know I'm not talking about it when you don't see the nosebleed icon. But anyways, before we go any further, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, tell a friend to tell a friend, do all that fun YouTube stuff. Down below are all my socials, you know what I'm saying, to go check me out at. But now let's get into it. Stranger Things 4, man, was dope, man. It's like one of the best watches I've had in a long time, man. So I'm not a big TV watcher. I'm not a movie critic person. Like I do, like before the pandemic, I was always in the movie theaters, you know. Like anytime a new Marvel movie came out, I was in there Thursday night at midnight watching them, you know. But I never really did reviews on it because I never really thought that people really cared about my opinion on stuff. But I don't care if people don't care about my opinion. Stranger Things 4 was worth me talking about, you know. It was worth every bit of the wait. You know, they gave, this was a pure shut mouth. This was a pure shut your mouth and sit down and watch me episode. Like I felt humbled, man. I felt like this was like one of Kendrick's. I kind of had that feel like Kendrick, right? Like Kendrick Lamar's album. Like people were like complaining, "Yo, man, what's taking them so long to put out an album? Man, it's been 3-4 years. What's going on?" And I think he fell off, and I think Stranger Things fell off, and all this, that, and the third. But man, this was worth every bit of the wait, man. Dope watch, man. So let's go ahead and get into it. So Stranger Things 3 was gooey, right? But remember in 3 you had the little rats and shit, you know, that were like getting flipped inside out, and they merged with the Mind Flayer to become the flesh version of the Mind Flayer. Well, Stranger Things 4 was crunchy. It wasn't gooey, but it was crunchy. So that first scene, like the first episode, kind of set the tone, man, with Chrissy. What's her name? Chrissy, I think it was her name. Man, so Vecna is the villain in this joint, and he's kind of like Freddy Krueger, but not like, he doesn't talk that much trash. But basically, he would make people. He basically would like prey on his victims that were like dealing with guilt, and he basically would put them in a trance to where they were thinking about something that they felt guilty over, and then basically he would then appear in their mind, and then make them like float in real life. And then he would have them like float up, and then he would just crunch them motherfuckers. He would crunch them motherfuckers up. Like that shit was crazy. He would like break all their bones in like midair, and then like pull their eyes out like through the back. And that's how he like created a portal to get from the upside down into the right side up, you know. So the first bitch, sorry, not bitch, but the first chick, man, he crunched that bitch up. I was like, ooh. I was like, oh wow, this is gonna be different, you know. Man, it was crunchy, you know. He crunched up like I think he crunched up like about 4 people so far, yeah, it was crunchy, you know. But the thing that was dope about Stranger Things 4, man, was they told 3 stories in one, and then merged them all into one.
Well, anyway, you may be saying about now.
How rude! I'm talking and he's supposed to cut me off. So let me make sure this shit is off because I know I got to eat in 15 minutes, but I don't want this shit to keep going off. Okay, it's already off. No, it's not. Okay, cool. Now it's off. But nah, where was I? Yeah, so they told 3 stories in one that were kind of like off, and then they merged them, and the villain wasn't every 3 of the stories. You know, that shit was dope, man. You know, so basically they had the main story, which was kind of where the kids were at, where they were at in life. You know, they were kind of explaining kind of how 11 lost her powers. And then when this new villain came along, you had kind of a backstory with this old dude. This basically it was a family where this one father went crazy because the Mind Flayer, well not Mind Flayer, because Vecna killed off his wife and his kids, and then you had the part where what was it? How they kind of got into how 11 lost her powers, or how they kind of showed you what happened to 11 before like she got out of the laboratories, right? So she had a mentor that was in there, and the mentor ended up being Vecna, right? Because he was one. He was one, right? 11 is 11, and he was one. And then not only that, but the family that Vecna killed, it was Vecna that killed his family, but it's really the little boy that passed out. So it was like, you know, it was like they told 3 stories in one, where the villain was the same person in all of them. And at the end, they had like a 5-minute denouement where they kind of summed everything up, and you kind of saw, it was like that moment in Sixth Sense, right? When you realized that Bruce Willis was dead, you were like, oh. But in this one, it was Vecna's won. Oh, Vecna was a little boy. Oh, so that shit was dope. So they kind of got everything set to where now, how are we gonna move forward? You know, another thing too, that was kind of interesting about the series, or about season 4, was they did a huge tribute to Freddy Krueger, man. Huge tribute. Like, now that I think, because of the thing, right? Like here, yo, man, Freddy fucked me up as a kid, man. Like that was like the most terrifying dude to me as a youngin. You know, like even when the commercials came on, I would be kind of haunted. I would be spooked by the commercials, you know. So, but it was like an homage to Freddy Krueger, right? So the upside down that Vecna operated in, or his world, it had that red haze, you know, kind of like a Freddy Krueger movie, you know. And Vecna got fried up, you know what I'm saying? So his skin was all melted and shit. He had the Freddy Krueger skin and shit, you know, so he looked like Freddy. Then he had like the long claws or whatever, you know, like Freddy Krueger with the claws or whatever and shit, or the glove. And there's one part that was real kind of trippy, was when he crunched up the one dude, the dude that was like the high school reporter, the little skinny nerdy dude. He was out in the woods, and all of a sudden there was like all these like dead people that were kind of like standing there, kind of like floating. And they were like, it was like a little girl that was like, he did it. And when she pointed, her fucking finger turned into a claw, nigga. That shit was creepy as hell, man. But what else, man? Like, you know, Vecna kind of played on the dream-like essence of Freddy. Like, Freddy fucked with you in the dreams. Vecna kind of got in your mind and played with your mind or whatever, you know, when he put you in a trance, and you couldn't run. He was kind of mouthy. Like, Vecna was kind of mouthy, but not as mouthy as Freddy Krueger. Like, Freddy would talk shit, you know. Vecna would just kind of like preach. He was more preachy, you know. And then also to top it off, what else you had? You had in the movie theater, or in the movie store with the video store, they had a Freddy Krueger cutout in the joint, you know. And then on top of that, to top it all off, they had Robert Englund play Vecna's father, right? And like he was in an asylum, and he had his eyes cut out, and it was trippy, man. But I knew when I saw the side of his face, I'm like, man, that's Freddy Krueger, champ. So this one was like an homage to Freddy Krueger. I apologize if you hear these little loud ass kids. They need to go do some homework or something, man. You know, because they fucking with my podcast right now, man. I'm trying to be successful, and right now they're interfering with my success. So I apologize if you hear these loud ass kids, but we're gonna make it. We're just gonna bear with it and just bear with me. Yeah, they're running upstairs and doing all kind of stupid shit. Just making noise, man. Man, go read a book, man. Damn. Little loud ass kids, man. Eat some dinner, read a book, you know? But anywho, what else, man? So now Stranger Things has me kind of thinking now, you know? It kind of has me thinking, like, what... I'm actually going to do an analysis on this, but I'm curious to, like, know what movies were heavily... I know kind of the movies that were heavily inspired through Stranger Things, but I want to know if there was, like, one movie in particular that had the weight of influence on like one season, right? I want to go back season by season, you know, and just kind of do that. That's kind of like I'm real interested in doing that, because this one was like Nightmare on Nightmare. Come on, Dre. This one was like Nightmare on Elm Street, like for sure, you know. There's definitely a Nightmare on Elm Street vibes, but I'm still not gonna watch no Nightmare on Elm Street, man. That shit is still trippy. And I think the reason why Nightmare on Elm Street kind of tripped me out was because there was no hero in the movie, right? Like the movie's about Freddy Krueger fucking people up, you know? Like he's the star, right? Like you're not gonna beat him, you know what I mean? So when you watch a horror movie like that, where the villain is like the hero or the villain is always gonna get away, it's kind of like it's never gonna end, and then you never have that peace of mind, or there's never that one thing that you can there's never that one thing that you can cling to be like, oh, this gives me hope, right? Whereas in Stranger Things, you know, it's more about 11, right? And 11 is like, you know, she gonna make everything right, like she gonna fix it all, like she gonna go conquer it all, you know what I'm saying? So you can kind of like, you know, kind of gravitate and cling to that. But if the movie was about Vecna just fucking people up, I probably wouldn't watch this shit. So what else, man? The other thing too that was cool about Stranger Things 4 was there was like a Star Wars element to it, you know, like Peter Ballard is the name of the guy that played, or Peter Ballard is the name of the character who was one, right? He was like the first person with powers, right? So he kind of was like Palpatine or like Darth Vader, right? So from a Palpatine standpoint, you know, well, Palpatine and Vader both got fucked up in Star Wars, right? Like Palpatine got fried by Mace Windu. Darth Vader got his legs and arms cut off and burnt up by Obi-Wan Kenobi, right? So Peter Ballard kind of was like, that was kind of him, right? Where he had like special powers and he was kind of like a pretty boy of the movie, and he had a scheme. So he was more like Palpatine because he had more of a scheme. Like he basically was the originator of his evil, you know? So, yeah, he was like the originator of his evil. Like, whereas in Star Wars, Palpatine was the originator, where Darth Vader was the follower, right? Or Darth Vader was the dupe, you know? So Peter Ballard was, so that kind of had like, you know, he kind of had those kind of vibes, you know? And 11 was kind of like Luke and Anakin, right, from Star Wars, right, where basically she was like Anakin because she was angry, you know. It was kind of like her struggle was trying to like deal with her anger, you know, and basically she was being led astray, right? Anakin was led astray, kind of like how Peter was being led astray, but she's more like Luke because Darth Vader tried to like lure Luke away. But Luke was tempted, but Luke didn't give into it, you know? So 11 is kind of like more like Luke, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of interesting how you can kind of like do a juxtaposition between all the character or the main characters in Star Wars and 11 and Peter Ballard, you know, and Vecna, you know, because Vecna is Peter Ballard. And the patients, or the little kids that were in the robes and the head shaved, or little head shaved kids or whatever, at the Hawkins lab, those kids were like the younglings in Star Wars, right? Where basically they were trying to like learn how to cultivate their powers. They were trying to learn how to, you know, work with what they had, you know. And then Peter Ballard, who became Vecna, went in and like slaughtered all them kids, you know. So that's kind of like the Anakin Skywalker youngling kind of like correlation between the two, you know. So that's kind of what I thought about with that, right? Now, here are some criticisms of the movie, right? Or of the series, or of season 4.1. Very, very, very small criticisms. But I thought about this, and it's not really a criticism, but it's something I kind of caught. One thing that I caught was, typically when you tell a story, like a movie or a series, there are two stories, right? It's where the characters physically end up, like where do they start, or where are they going, and where do they end up, and from a physical standpoint, and it's how does the character mature with whatever they're doing, right? So when faced with opposition, how does the character grow beyond that, right? And to me, I felt like at first glance, I kind of thought, or on first thought, I kind of thought that Elle kind of regressed, you know, because she dealt with bullies that were bullying Mike in school, and she really wasn't like angry, but she was more like annoyed, right? Like, remember in season 1 when they made Mike jump off the cliff or whatever to save Dustin, and when he jumped off the cliff, Elle basically was like far away, and she basically went and prevented him from falling. And when she came into contact with those bullies, she just was like, remember, she did a little head joint and broke the kid's arm, and then threw one kid back or whatever. She was more annoyed then. She was like, man, whatever, man, y'all kind of pissing me off, right? But in this one, she was like, when she was getting bullied by the one chick in class, and when they like stepped on her project and embarrassed her in front of everybody, she was trying to destroy that bitch. Like, she was like, ah! And that's when she didn't have any power, right? She didn't have any power then. But if she had power, man, she would have fucked that chick up, you know? So I was thinking to myself, I was like, man, like, how is she going backwards? Like why is she going backwards? But then it made sense. It dawned on me, right? And they had a good little cover up, right? And basically, the cover up was, or the reason why she was the way she was, is because she didn't remember where she came from. Like, she forgot everything that happened, like, right before she escaped the Hawkins lab. So there was a whole story behind that, and they told that story. So when she remembered, so now what's going to be interesting is when now that she remembers how she got her powers, and she remembers, like, even though she was getting, like, bullied and picked on with the other kids in the Hawkins lab, it's going to be interesting to see how, like, she grows beyond that. That's what I'm going to be looking for, you know, or at least to see if it gets addressed. Because I think what's going to happen in 4.2 is, I think the bully is going to end up getting crunched, or I think Vecna is going to get a hold of the chick that was bullying her, and she's going to have some other deeper issue. And I think she's probably going to Vecna's going to try to crunch her up, and then Elle's going to jump in and save her, and she's going to be able to put her anger past the bully behind her to save her life or whatever, and then they're going to be best friends or some shit, you know? That's what I think is going to happen with that. And what about 8? Right? Like, what about 8? You know, the Indian chick, or not, I shouldn't say Indian, but the brown chick, you know? Like, she was in the Rainbow Room with Elle when all that happened. So they're going to have to explain how she got out, because Peter Ballard killed all them kids off, man. Or they're going to have to at least kind of make a statement as to how how he missed her, you know. But if they just ignore it and don't bring 8 back, that's gonna be kind of corny, you know. So they really got to button that up, and I'm pretty confident that with the writing that they've been doing, that they're gonna button that up nice and tight. Let's talk about this right quick. This is like my last, or let me talk about this one criticism. I got 2 more criticisms. Another criticism of season 4 part 1 is slight criticism is the music, man. Like, I like all the songs that they pick, but they ain't playing no funk, man. They gotta at least play me one funk jam, man. Play me some Cameo, play me some Whispers, you know what I'm saying? Play me some Rockwell. Well, Rockwell's more pop, you know, but they gotta play something, man. They could have played something like that was from the funk. That's from more of the funk, on the funk side of things, man. Even some Hall & Oates, man. But, you know, whatever. I mean, they picked, you know, they got Kate Bush, which is a dope song that she has, the song she sings, Running Uphill, or whatever that song was. But that's just one slight criticism. And they could have probably brought in some breakdancing, man, because breakdancing was huge back in the 80s, man. Especially with them being in California. There's no excuse for them not to be out there, at least having one pop locker out there doing something, you know? Like, I feel like they're just being too, I feel like they're being too conservative / kind of cheesy with the 80s, man. They need to kind of like loosen it up a little bit, man, and kind of like not make it about that, but at least like pepper in some breakdancing, pepper in some pop locking. Like, with all that crunching that's going on, they could have like, man, that would have been funny, man, if they had if Vecna got a hold of a breakdancer that was breakdancing, and he was breakdancing, but people thought he was really breakdancing and like flying and doing a new move, but he just crunched his ass up in midair and fell down, right? That would have been dope, because like when he be crunching them motherfuckers up, it looks like he breakdancing, or they look like they breakdancing when Vecna crunch him up, you know. So that would have been dope, man, to kind of have that bridge between like breakdancing and Vecna and all that popping and shit. That would have been dope, you know. But that's a small criticism. It's not like a main point, but it's something that would have, like, you know, I think enhanced the series. But last but not least, we got to talk about this, man. Last but not least, got to talk about this. Yeah, my mom texting me right now about this series. Yo, I'm just gonna cut my look. Whenever there's an NBA series or a game, I'm just gonna cut my phone off, man, because I got my lineups in, and every time I get my lineups in, my mom is like, you know, she'll text me, hey, when is so-and-so going to show up? When is Jason Tatum going to show up? And I have him in my lineup, and I'm like, shit, he's not doing shit then. So now I have no hope in my lineup, man. Anywho, let me stay on point. Let me stay focused. So, last criticism of Stranger Things, and then we're going to get out of here. Here we go. Got to talk about this, man. Let me move this nosebleed thing to the side. Got to talk about this, man. Will Byers, man. That's my dude, man. Will Byers, man. Good actor, great actor, man. But Stranger Things is supposed to, like, basically in a 3-year span, he went from this to that. This motherfucker has some of that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Secret of the Ooze spill on him or something, man, because this dude went from a second or third grader to a sophomore in college. Like, he look at this, man. In 3 years, they gotta explain this, man. Like, he should have been one of the first people that Vecna got. Like, Vecna should have just crunched his ass up because he's too old, man. Just crunch. All right, man, get out of here. He should have crunched him up in episode 1. Or what they could have done, and someone said this, is they could have said, hey, you know, he aged because he was in the Upside Down. He was in the Upside Down the longest. And when you're in the Upside Down, you age, or you can age, right? Make something. But to try to say this is the same person, we know it's the same person, but just the fact that it's only supposed to be 3 years, and this motherfucker went from a toddler to an adult in 3 years, I don't know. Might want to rethink that. But anywho, that's it for Stranger Things. So I can take that off and I can take that off. But man, shout out to whoever made the poster, man, because the poster is dope. Basically, when I first saw it, I just saw people walking towards the thing. But when you actually study it, it's actually like scenes from the movie, right? Like when they were like, so the top one is, let me actually put the nosebleed back on so people don't think I'm trying to ruin it for them. But basically, the top part is when they were in the getting ready to go into Vecna's father's house. This one was when to the left, I'm trying to think, I can't see. Right, but the left is when they were. This is when they jumped off the boat and they went to the went through Watergate, or went under to the gate that was underwater and ended up in the upside down. So here they're in the actual upside down. Behind me is, I believe that's Max when she's in school, and she's basically like being haunted by Vecna, right? And then to the right, or to my left is when is when they're in Russia. It's Hopper, I forgot the other guy's name, and then Joyce, and they're in Russia, and this is when they all meet up, and this is when like I think they just either fought or they just finished fighting the demagogue or the demagogue or whatever it is. So it was dope how they made this poster, man. It's like dope. It's like it's season 4. You have 4 things going into the middle. Like that's dope. So shout out to whoever made the poster, man. That's a dope poster. Okay, now I'm done talking about Stranger Things 4. So like I said, man, if you guys haven't watched it, man, go watch it. I'm probably gonna re-binge it again because I think part 2 comes out on July 1st, and not only that, there's a 5th season coming. So I'm like, okay, but I think they said season 5 will be it, and this has to be it because these kids is getting old. Anywho, man, what else we got going on, man? Before we go any further, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, tell a friend to tell a friend, do all that fun YouTube stuff, do all that fun social media stuff. Down below are all my handles where you can find me, add me, follow me, do all that fun stuff. I'm not gonna talk about any work or school babble today, so I'm just gonna move on. So what's next for me? What's next for little old me? So as you guys know, I'm trying to really grow my channel. I'm not trying to grow my channel. I am growing my channel. You got to speak it into existence, you know. My nose messing with me. See, every time I record, man, my nose start messing with me, man. Nope, I'm not messing with that powder. It's just my nose is messing with me all of a sudden. But yeah, I'm working on like I said, I'm building my channel. You can see where I started from. Like I'm gonna do an episode in the future where I kind of like look at old videos or old podcasts of mine, and I kind of just talk shit about them, you know. I'll probably do that like way in the future, but right now, what's next? I'm working on my podcast album cover, right? So I saw some people online that design podcast album covers, and I'm going to drop the bread and just get it done, man. Like they have good package deals where like the art they make is unique. And they'll give you like a Facebook, or they'll give you not a Facebook, but they'll give you a YouTube banner. They'll give you all the little art clips that you want to do for your various social medias. So I'm gonna invest in that, you know. I mean, someone would say, man, just get something done cheap. But if you do something cheap and then you want something else that's doper, then you're gonna pay for it, right? So why not just pay for it up front, you know? So that's what I'm gonna do. That's coming up soon. And I want to do that so I can officially launch my podcast on all podcasting platforms, right? But I don't want to have a JPEG of my YouTube as my picture or as my thumbnail for my podcast. I want to be able to have an official podcast album cover for the joint, so it's legit, you know. So I'm gonna go ahead and pay for that, get that done out the way. I'm also working on my YouTube channel trailer, you know, so when my new listeners come, they can see what this channel is all about, why I say certain things, why I do what I do, you know, why it's structured the way it's structured, what I'm going to talk about, what this channel is about. So, and I'm glad I almost rushed it last week because I was trying to meet this goal because I wanted to reference it, but I'm going to do it right. But I was going to just shoot it with a black background and look at the camera and just talk that shit, and then nah, that's not the way to do it. I'm either gonna just do like a collage of my videos in my background and do a voiceover that kind of explains what it is, along with the theme music, you know, for my channel, or I might do it in the background, like a video that's playing in the background, and then I don't know how I'm gonna do it yet, but it's gonna be legit, you know, like, because I want to do it right, you know. So I want people to like really like get hooked when they see what I'm trying to do, you know, or not what I'm trying to do, but I want them to get hooked on what I'm doing. What else we got going on? What else is coming up, man? Yeah, so there's gonna be no show. There's gonna be no Trippin with Theobold. On, let me look at my calendar right quick. There's gonna be no Trippin with Theobold on the 16th and 23rd of this month. I'll be going to Buffalo to handle some business. But I might pop on to talk some shit, but it's not going to be official because like I'm not going to have my sound equipment. I'm not going to have my lighting. And like I said, I like to produce high quality. I want to like go up from here or up. Yeah, I want to be able to go up from here, you know? So I might just get on here. I might just talk some shit, you know? I'm not gonna give it a title, or I'm not gonna count it as an episode of Trippin with Theobold. You know, it's gonna be more of a I might just come in and just like check in just to see what people are. I might just come in and just talk some shit. You know, I don't know. Not guaranteeing it, but I know for a fact I will be back officially on Trippin with Theobold on June 30th. So there will be a June 9th episode. But there won't be one on the 16th and there won't be one on the 23rd. But we will have one again on the 30th. What else we got going on? Oh yeah, next month I'm probably gonna miss a episode next month. I'm not sure. I have to wait and see. I might or I might not, but I might miss an episode next month because I gotta get the colonoscopy done. You know, I gotta take care of my health because health is wealth, right? So but I'll let you guys know when that's coming up. But anywho, you know, like I said before, like, comment, subscribe, you know what I'm saying? Hit that like button. I want to hear your thoughts about today's episode in the comment section. Ask some questions, you know what I'm saying? Troll, I don't care. I approve. I let all comments come through. I have nothing to hide. But like I said before, AT is where it's at on most forms of social media, so follow me. But with all that being said, Badeep. I'm out of here, folks. Peace.
Yep.
Trippin with Theobold.
Let's go.
Caliente.
Trippin.
Yep.
Trippin. Trippin with Theobold.
Trippin with Theobold.